Hey, what's up everyone? My name is Michael.
This is Simon.
And welcome to another episode of Techroad and story time.
Yeah.
We have something for you today. Something that you might have known or not. Hii ni kuhusu vitu ambavyo tunatumia wengi sana.
Yes,
watu wengi sana hapa Tanzania na Afrika kiujumla.
For some reason, watu wengi duniani. We can say
that.
Yeah. We can say duniani with the confidence ambayo we are sure of what we are saying.
Yeah. Tumejikuta kuna aina fulani hizi za simu zipo kila sehemu.
Yes. Kila mtu anayo. Au at least umeipitia at one time.
Yeah, at one time. Hata kama ilikuwa sio yako, unaweza kaa uliirithi
ndugu yako karibu lazima ni simu.
Kama hana sasa hivi
atakuwa naye.
Sasa ilikuwaje hivi, imekuwaje hadi zimefika hapo? Simu gani kwanza hizo?
No. The big story is why ndugu yako ana simu kama hiyo?
Hiyo ni swali. In the world of iPhones and pixels, Samsung,
this phone is still here.
Lakini kuna sababu. They are cheap. Yeah.
When you say cheap, you mean what?
They are not as expensive.
Not as expensive.
Are they affordable kwa hali yetu sisi
yes.
Yeah, hapa.
Now, when you say affordability, that's a key word, my brother.
Yeah.
Very important word.
Affordability. Yeah, kwa hizi simu ni kwamba tunaweza kuziafford. Na pia kwa sababu one of the biggest thing, remember kama kuna siku tuliongelea kwamba unaweza ukawa na vitu vingi, unajua vitu vingi, like kitu chako inabidi kiwe hivi na hivi na hivi ili sasa hadi uwe nacho. You afford it.
Yes.
Unaweza afford. Yani hilo ni swali la msingi. So target hapo.
Bas.
We also talked watengeneza vitu for Africa.
Yes. Not for Africa. When you say Africa, it's actually wrong in our context of what we're trying to work on today. It's something which makes sense for large population.
Okay, so it's something that makes sense for large population.
Any large population makes sense. As long as it's large.
Okay.
You know, one thing about large population ni kwamba large population na maskini sana na marais na dini sana. Ila kama ni small population, either it's very poor or very rich.
Yeah.
So anything that's large population, it makes sense. You'll be surprised about where they are.
Yeah. So ukiangalia sasa nyingine sio lazima uuze kitu kimoja kwa bei ya juu. Yeye unaweza ukauza vitu vingi kwa bei ya chini.
And that's the strategy. Use as much as you can at the cheapest price.
Push volume to where product
game of volumes.
Game of volumes.
And this is anyone anatusikiza podcast yetu, kama unaweza kaongeza namba ya mauzo, that's all you want to do. Wengine vyote unaweza kupotezea. Ongeza mauzo. It's also
ongeza mauzo, ongeza bei.
Yeah, ongeza bei, ongeza mauzo. Reach out wengi zaidi. Speaking of that, our story inaanzia mwaka 1992. That's where the story begins.
It's kwa wakati.
So many of us were not there. 1992. Story inaanzia kule mjini China. China bwana, 1992 kuna kampuni inaitwa Bird as ndege. Yes. Kuna kampuni nyingine inaitwa Bird, but this was special because it's from China. You know, we know the Bird from USA, the scooter. Yeah, but this is not scooter. This is not scooter. This is not about scooter. It's
very different.
So 1992 kuna kampuni inaitwa Bird, ilikuwa specialized kwenye simu. Bird was a telecommunication and phone company. You know, there's one thing you should know kwamba China, the ecosystem ya China, it's way different from the ecosystem nyingine sana. China, kwanza, let me tell you one thing. iPhone was the first smartphone in America, but not globally.
Before iPhone, first smartphone?
Yes.
Meaning there was no smartphone before iPhone?
No, and it was popular smartphone.
It was the most popular that
America, but at that time, 2007, kuna smartphones zaidi advanced more than Apple.
Yeah.
Japan. And one of the reasons you know, they had to do a limited edition for Japan.
iPhones for Japan?
Yeah, specifically for Japan.
Why?
Japan walikuwa used to the iPhone, to the phones ambazo zinaweza zikachukua pictures, zinaweza kwa internet na kutuma email. Before iPhone existed. So when the Apple inakuja, And the market wanashanga, this is a good popular for glorified phone, but haina hizo capabilities. Like, what's going on with this phone?
It's a glorified smartphone.
Yeah. So that's the thing. So the thing is, the neighbor wa Japan, the closest neighbor, kuna China, kuna Korea. So all these years, 1992, the brand was something which was actually a phone manufacturing company.
Yeah.
They were starting out. China, their main market, China.
Yeah.
China was like their main market. They were starting out. They are selling their phones, pushing their phones. For some reasons, kukaja easy size international brands, Samsung, when you're giving market here, China, kuza same phone. Just for some reason, China at that time was not yet advanced.
Yeah.
So any phone walikuwa wanauza ilikuwa just a normal phone, and then this external phones are very advanced. So the Bird Company 1992 ikaendelea kuexist until 2000. 2000 mfika ikaanza kustruggle. But one of the thing ambayo ilikuwa inasababisha struggle kubwa ni kwamba the market and the technology kwa ni way below. Yani kwamba the technology iko below the market expectation. At the same time, the market didn't have enough capital to work with the phone walizokuwa nazo. Expensive phone but low quality. So eventually what happened, ikaanza 2000 ikawa na struggle. Ikafika 2006, it's literally was dissolved the company. Like it exists but it's struggling. Right? So during all this time, kwa kuna key employee. This key employee was George Zhu. George Zhu was one of the key member kwenye ile manufacturing ya phone kwenye zile kwa panda bed.
Yeah.
Surprising, but George Zhu is billionaire right now, but little is known about him. Not only little, like literally you won't get any information about George Zhu unless you know how to read Chinese sources. And that's one of the reasons about kwamba there is a really huge knowledge from China that you are missing because of the language barrier.
It's true.
Yeah, and if you are smarter or if you are in your 20s and your brain is still functioning, I really urge you to learn Chinese.
That is like saying the
Really.
Hapo umeongelea people in their 20s and their brain is still functioning.
Yes.
That is also acknowledging kwamba people in their 20s and their brains not functioning.
Yes.
Okay.
Very true. It's happening. Chinese kuna cultural center hapa mjini hapa. If you can get time to learn Chinese, learn Chinese. Why I'm telling you this? Kwa sababu moja, there is less information coming from China, right? And the language make it even worse.
That's true.
There's a lot of knowledge from West, like Europe, America. And the good thing is you already know English.
Yeah.
So you're sure you get this information. So what is really important? What you cannot get compared to what you already get.
Yeah.
If you think about what you get is enough, keep doing that. But if you really want to see the other side, learn Chinese. So any young man, please, Chinese is a good thing to learn.
Any young man or woman.
A woman, yes. That is inclusive.
They will strike against you.
Yeah. So coming 2006, now the company is struggling. George Zhu decided to say, you know what? I'm really doing this for this company. Why don't we try our own way? Like a form company called Technology and Telecommunication Company.
Techno.
Yeah,
Techno yetu.
Techno
hii tunayoijua.
So wakaanza kumanufacture na new same thing kama Bird walichokuwa kufanya but for China market, South Asia market.
Yeah.
Wanauza pale. So for time, one thing which was happening and one thing which was really popular at that time, na kama you are lucky, umesikia a lot of this Africa Rising, Africa on Move, all this article from the West describing the Africa market. So this guy was really visionary person, thinking big, and he saw the opportunity there. At that time, 2006, it was just before iPhone got released.
Yeah.
At that time, kuna Samsung in Africa. At that time, kuna Philips in Africa. At that time, kuna
Panasonic.
Panasonic, Sony, all these phones were available in Africa.
Motorola.
But there are like hundreds, not thousands, hundreds, couple of hundreds. Some few people who are very rich, they can get
So they were missing something.
Yeah. So there's something about why are they not from to every hand? Kwani particular kila mtu. At that time kuna Nokia they had a lot, like a catalog here. Kuna Nokia Xperia, Nokia what, Nokia. They were like really big deal.
Yeah.
And until ilikuwa ni prominent Nokia kwa sababu it was like the phone which is really making sense. Motorola. Sasa Motorola, Nokia, they knew one thing. They knew that Samsung, Philips phone were really not so small, relative big in terms of their with nini unene.
Yeah.
Mwone. Ni nene compared labda na smartphones lakini kwa ni kubwa kama hii with the addition of the antenna. Mwone. So the appealing was not there. Mwone. So these other manufacturers, amboni Nokia, Motorola, they saw that opportunity. Let's make small phones. Right? You know, there was a time actually they were creating small phones, but very low. Like, they're real. I remember that. Really significant, right?
It's true, yeah.
There were years of trying, right? So they were trying to find a form factor about relevant watu wengi.
Something that would stick.
Motorola, Nokia, they click. This is the form factor. 2007, 2009, they're starting out. On the other side of the world, China, Tecno is manufacturing their thing, but for the market ya local pale. So over time, Tecno wakaona kwamba okay, these people are doing very well in the market ya Africa. Akisema kwamba which market is making sense kwa kuona ile trend ya Nokia na pengine. So this Motorola and Nokia at that time were like toe to toe in terms of penetration for Africa. Not globally, Africa. Africa were low penetration, but if you penetrate, like you become popular, because there's no other option, or other option very expensive or not so available. Right? So availability, optionality, and you're the first to the market, or key at that time. They say, okay, this guy, George Zhu, say, okay, you know what? Let me check the Nigeria market. Nigeria market makes sense. Young population, significant amount of money from oil, everything is making sense. So let's introduce Tecno phone here. Ugly. Stupid phones, like they didn't make sense at that time, but they did,
and it works.
Now I'm telling you, now we're talking. So over time, the Motorola of the world and the Nokia were now fighting against Apple, because Apple comes in 2007. Now they become like globally competitors. The African market is a small market for them, so there was not so much R&D or it. Now this George now come to Africa, look what the market is happening. Hey, these people are having an issue with their lines. They're actually looking to add multiple SIM card. And then at that time, there are not only Tecno, but there are several Chinese companies coming in at the same time. All these Chinese companies coming in. And one thing they click, most of the Chinese companies which were bought, not in like the similar brand, like any Chinese phone that has double line, that was making sense.
Yeah.
Right?
People didn't want to have many devices.
Yes. Now these guys are okay. Double line is everything. Number one. So double line was number one feature. Let's make all the phone we are selling to Africa double line. Yeah. Sometimes even triple line. Anything African, triple, double line, not single line. Yeah. That's just like key thing. And it works. Over time, they look, okay, what's the second thing? Nigeria at that time, I think until today, they are struggling with the electricity. So the time ambao umeme upo, na time ambao umeme upo, it's literally same kwa siku nzima mna umeme. But your phone you use electricity. So what to do? Tunatengeneza bigger battery for them phone. So simu inakuwa na functionality kidogo, lakini battery hiyo ya kutosha. That's the second thing. They look, okay, this market needs this. And all this time, they're focusing Nigeria. They haven't think about anything else. Yeah. No Kenya, no Tanzania, no South Africa. Nigeria, we are everything to us.
Dominate the market.
So George Zhu, a little mastermind, right? I can catch his mom. Okay, what to do here? The other thing is, these people are not having enough money, man. But let's give them what they want. Let's give them their phones that are really cheap. They can take their phones, like entry phone. Tecno, but entry phone. So over time, what they come to realize, like, okay, they are making sense in this market. They are making sense in this market. Now let's see. So most of the things that happen to Nigeria, find them happen in Bangladesh. Most of the things that happen in Nigeria, they happen maybe in Ethiopia, right? So, okay, let's actually think about this holistic differently. Let's change our name from Tecno to Transsion. But why are we changing our name to Transsion? Because we are going to have another brand coming up. They produce Infinix. Infinix was like a second, a mid-tier phone. Now the thing is, let me explain it, because they went reverse.
Yeah.
Right. They are like entry phone. They came to produce later on, which is itel. Right.
Yeah.
So itel was produced to be like entry level. Most of the feature basic, but they are entry level smartphones.
Yes.
itel. Everything. So that was like later on. But before that was Infinix. Infinix was mid-tier, right? Everything in mid-tier. But the Techroad brand, because it became popular and bigger, and everyone wanted a piece of that, right? They became even bigger. Now, within Apple, kuna series nyingi, kuna even high-end phones. High-end phones. Very good phones.
Yeah.
But all these phones, they can't produce here now, how in your Transsion. So given that they have different brands now, itel, Infinix na Tecno, and all for different categories. Okay, let's call Transsion. So Transsion become the big brand. Then Nishu is a key as a CEO of the big brand, and then the CEO for each individual brand.
Yeah.
One thing they are trying to do is not to make them like known as one company, but they are different companies.
Yes.
Right? So you go to the market as an individual, as a mteja, wanachofikia pale nataka sim, let's say itel. But you don't think so much about how itel na associate na Tecno kwa namna gani, au
unaona tu kama simu ya, in fact saa nyingine unaweza hata ukawa unajisikia kama mimi nina Infinix sina Tecno, au Infinix sina itel.
Yes, and that's the key thing kwa wenyewe kwa the whole point ya kuna 3 different brands is kwamba they will be competing between themselves, and not compared to the other market, to the other competitors ambao ni kama iPhone or anything else.
The devil you know.
Yes, exactly. So when you, at the end of the day, they know about this is all Transsions, right? But deep down when you're marketing, there's no marketing of Transsion.
Yeah,
unless you do something with the telecom, that's when you know about Transsion.
Yeah.
So that's the key area of what. Another thing walichokuwa wakifanya sasa after entering the market, they localize it. Ukienda Nigeria kuna languages Igbo, what all these languages.
Yeah.
They make them available. So they try to make sure kwamba mtu yote yule anaweza kutumia their phone. That was the key part. Alafu on top of that sasa kuna ile inaitwa Calcare.
Calcare, yeah, I've seen Calcare.
So Calcare is a really company on its own. Right now it's purely focused kwenye servicing phones. And they notice kwamba, of course, one thing about Africans, once we bought something, it's become like ours, not for 1 year or 2 years, even for 3 years, 4 years, which is not common. Kwa hiyo wakajua kwamba the other part ambao tunatakiwa focus ni how to make sure kwamba they can service the phone. Customer service. Calcare. So they build all this ecosystem in such a way that wewe mteja unajua nimechukua phone yangu hapa Infinix, lakini nikitaka shida naweza pata Calcare. Now they're building up. Na ukipeleka Calcare, it's actually like a proper customer service. Unajua unaacha simu yako pale, unaandikisha kila kitu, una take care, unaondoka. So it's really become a big deal kwa okay, we give the first thing, the phone, but then there is this after services ambao ndo Calcare vingine.
It kind of gives we care for you even after you buy the product.
Yes. So the worst part ni kwamba Tanzania au Africa, that's not very well promoted. Imekuwa promoted kwamba wewe simu yako kana shida labda screen, you go to Kariakoo, which is okay, because sometimes it's more convenient kwa wewe. What Calcare wangeweza kufanya, and this is something maybe they can think about, is have certified individuals kwamba huyu ni certified Calcare individual, right? Kwa sababu Calcare right now it's more like a what you call these shops zinaitwa kama Arusha, kumbuka the time kwa kuna Calcare pale mjini, Arusha mjini kwa kuna Calcare. So similarly wanaweza kama okay, watu wangu labda kuna Calcare pale Kariakoo, calcare pale hivi au individual unaweza kuwa tunaka post chako am calcare certified I can do all these issues ambazo ni basic labda screen change
issue with right to repair.
Yes.
Yeah, hata wana hicho kitu.
Yes. The only thing unajua ile pale ni kwamba it bring a lot of intensity kwamba okay there is a promotion thing all this are costing kwa wenye focus sana kwenye upande. Then democratize kwamba unajua nini? Regardless kama atakuja kwetu what huyu mtu anaye repair lazima tununue product wako kwetu.
Yeah.
Kwa hiyo it doesn't matter. At the end of the day kwanza ile ni insured. Kwa kuna calculates like kind of insured kwa warranted.
Yeah, unajua kama
so it's kind of liability kwa pia. No, that's why they didn't put much effort on that area. So they went on eventually wakaanza ku expand to other market. Yeah. Kwanza unajua one thing they did very well kwamba I told you about localization.
Yeah.
Kwamba niko Tanzania but my phone can also speak Swahili. You know that some Tecno can actually change to Swahili.
Yes. Yeah.
It's really Swahili. That localization. Kwa hiyo Nigeria wakaenda pale waka make sure kwamba kwa nini kuna localization proper. This is a market. Okay, capture the market. Wakaenda Ethiopia wakaika hivyo same thing. Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda sijui nini. All these places waka make sure kwamba kuna localization ya content. Unasema yes, phone inaongea Kirundi, Kirwanda, what's going on. But that is how they capture the market. So on top of that, wakaangalia okay, what's next can we go? Mwana. Mimi nikinunua simu yangu sasa hivi, lazima ninunue zile nini earphones,
yeah.
Right? Nikinunua earphones, what are the best brand? Labda nitanunua labda Samsung or anything else. Lakini if we introduce another brand which is not so associated with the phones because we don't want them to be associated with the and we don't want this limitation. One thing about me and you labda, sawa? Labda let's me kaka yako, si ndio? And maybe there is another family na mtu na dada yake, si ndio? Dada yake labda amenioa mimi and the experience was worse. They're more likely to incentivize the dad wasikoe kwa sababu wamepata experience mbaya kwa wao, si ndio? So they didn't want that. Infinix, you have their own brand. Itel, your own brand. Tecno, your own brand. For different market. Na ukija kuangalia vizuri sana kwenye Tecno kwa mfano kuna Tecno feature phone, kuna Tecno entry, kuna Tecno high end.
Na high end phones, yeah.
High end ambao ndio unaona kina Chris Evans wana sponsor.
Yeah, like the ones ambazo pia zilikuwa na nini na Man City.
Yes, exactly. You see, yeah, like that. They make sure kwamba this is really high end. So with that differentiation, okay, what are the accessories? You know, there is a good business of accessory going on. Hata kwenye computer at that time, ilikuwa ni mouse, those accessory speakers. At that time, zile ilikuwa ni desktop zile computers. At that time,
yeah.
Accessories, flash disks, all these were accessories. So the same, why didn't we do the same thing for our phones? Accessory can charger, fast charger, Oraimo, nini. Oraimo actually is an additional brand.
Yeah. So after Tecno, Itel, and Infinix, they made Oraimo kwa ajili ya accessories.
Yes, accessories. Sijui earphones, and then kuna earphones, kuna battery pack, kuna power bank, kuna nini tena hizi fast chargers.
Yeah.
Those are like a brand. Some of course, what else do you want? Kuna Oraimo pia screen protector.
Yeah.
More. Those are like exactly within the same
ecosystem. Ni accessories.
Yani utakimbia lakini tuko hapa.
Utarudi tu bomba.
Initially, to be honest, I didn't know that Oraimo is brand ya Transsion. How are they associated with Tecno? Tecno wanaweza ka mess up, but Oraimo, of course,
kwa sababu they are separate.
Very separate, very strategic. iPhone ikizingua labda let's say iPad, it's the same thing you think about their AirPods, sindio?
Yeah.
It's the same thing kwamba Apple anazingua, I won't take anything.
And you'll take it like that.
Yes.
Kwamba hiki kitu ni cha Apple kinazingua na hiki kitu cha Apple kikizingua ndo wale.
So that's what's happening.
Yeah.
So the differentiation of brand is kind of very strategic kwa wao. So over time, what has happened now is after localization, wakasema okay, you know what? We want to be the known brand. Known brand ni kwamba now we are acceptable brand, but we want to be known. Wakaanza kufanya advertisement lakini individual product. Infinix natoka mwezi huu, msije natoka Tecno, msije natoka Itel. Individual product. Bwana. they're different. Like ukiangalia, amna anyway see kama si Tecno what Tecno related. Infinix is Infinix. Tecno is Tecno.
hamna ka subscripts, hamna chochote.
Yeah, nothing to show the relationship between the three. So they went on with that direction. What happened eventually, the Tecno became a really super brand. You can introduce it Latin America, you can introduce South Asia, and now, surprising, tell me where they introduced Tecno. Chris Evans is a Hollywood actor.
Yeah.
Surprisingly,
He's American.
Yes, he's American. Tecno has been introduced in Russia. You can think of Russia doesn't make sense. Tecno is really does it go Russia Tecno? But to be honest, it's really selling good in Russia. They're not there yet. It's like 15, if not 50, but they are somewhere in Russia. So you'll be surprised. Latin America, we have almost similar. Africa and Latin America, they are a bit advanced in terms of infrastructure-wise and everything else.
Economy, yeah.
But deep down, the customers are almost similar. They want double line, they want affordability, they want high battery.
So basically the same customer profile ambayo ilikuwa huku iko kule.
Yeah. So they copy and paste, bring the same product. It works very well, but Bangladesh and everything else, Palika Russia. Now they went further. One of the things about walikuwa naona kwamba, our phones are really good, of course, but because we're manufacturing them from China, we're importing them to Africa, there's some charges we are incurring, like taxation and everything else. What if we introduce a production line or production facility in Africa? Yeah, they did that. So some of the Tecno brand, they actually made in Africa. Because Ethiopia. Right? So that's how they are thinking about. In order for us to reach further, let's do this. Let's even go to the market deep down. You see, unashangaa kwamba kwa nini most of American companies, they are going to China, or they have a subsidiary directly in China. Not only because the regulation and everything else, but because of the market. Market is lucrative enough, it's big enough. China is 1.2 billion. But if I'm producing the car right there in China, there's most likely to be cheaper.
Yeah, right. Than if you're producing it in another country.
Like
moving it from America to China, it's going to have to be expensive.
Yes, and there's something called localization. Ile brand kama brand ya kuhusiana, yani kurelate na brand. If you see something produced hapo Kariakoo, of course unaweza ukawa skeptical. This is Kariakoo. Lakini if it's the same brand ambayo you're producing, yani brand ile ni Tecno. There's that okay, this is more likely to have some features ambazo are really direct na wewe hapo compared to the ambayo iko produced in China.
Yeah.
Now that's what they're focusing. How much can we localize this? How much can we differentiate ourselves to be something related? Because what is happening to Africa? Africa, we are a new market. Of course, we have this influential phones ambazo zinakuwa branded and zinakuwa influencing the iPhone, Samsung. But we cannot afford, so they become like the dream, but we're living the current.
Yeah, but for now, before you reach the dream,
yeah, that's what I'm telling you. At one point, you own a Technophone,
yeah,
or you know someone who owns Technophone, or someone from your family owns Technophone.
Yeah, wewe una Pixel sasa hivi.
Yeah, of course. Simu yangu ya pili, if not ya kwanza, ilikuwa I don't remember. I don't remember the first of the name ya simu yangu ya kwanza. Lakini simu yangu ya katikati hapo ilikuwa Tecno. And it was Tecno high end. So at that time, you know the thing is, Tecno, they are very smart. Look at the packet. What's really important kwa watu wengi ya Tanzania? Pixel, megapixel. Do you remember that time? I think it was kipindi cha before 2 years, 3 years. Everyone was talking about pixels. Megapixel ngapi, 12 megapixels.
The impression was that the higher the megapixel, the better the picture.
Thank you. So if you can know that, it's emphasis on that. That's the actual. Let's make sure there's pixels za kutosha kwenye simu. And what they did actually, they look at the market. This is African complexion, the black complexion. So how can we better streamline it? Unaona pictures are Tecno. Any kama umechora fulani hivyo.
Beauty mode.
Exactly, beauty mode. Yes, you see, all these things things is make sure kwamba we are trying to capture the market.
Kama umepigwa msasa, umesugulio.
Yeah, so Tecno, they really focus on make sure kwamba we capture the market, but our volumes are significant.
Yeah.
And what I'm looking forward from this series is kwamba maybe the coming episode we are going to talk more about how are they differentiated. So right now nikwambia kuna high end, mid tier na high low tier like entry levels. Yeah. We are going to look further kwamba we are going to details sasa kwamba let's say kwamba if you're talking about Infinix kuna brand A B C D kuna Infinix gapi kwa Tecno Spark Tecno
you even look into each one of them and review them.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's what's next. But what you really see here is one small company from China that is becoming a global power in terms of smartphone. Africa is a huge market. It's 1.something billion customers, right? If they capture that, if they capture the Bangladesh, if they capture the South America, that is. Kuna kitu utasema kwamba it's game of volume.
Yeah.
How many can they sell? How much can they complement their product? Or rhyme was doing. There is so much they can do.
They create an environment around you.
Yeah.
To take care of you after you buy the product. It's not just buy the product and go. Yeah. We'll give you accessories.
Yes.
We're there. But still, the important part ambayo mimi nimeona ni kwenye differentiating of those brands.
Yes.
Like, unajua, even if one product fails from one product line or from one brand, you don't associate it with the other. Unasema ngoja nitoke Tecno, ngoja ninunue Infinix this time.
Yes. So what we are really looking forward ni go deep into this brand kwa sababu it's like holistic. Yani kati ya one brand ambayo iko very prominent kwa maisha ya Tanzania ni Tecno.
Yeah.
Tecno, Itel na Infinix. So maybe in the coming episode what you can expect from us is more detailed understanding of what's up with the iPhone, what's up with the Tecno, sorry.
Yeah.
What's up with the Infinix, what's up with any go into further details.
All of them, individually. Come on, if you notice in the story, in the beginning there was, it sounds like the Bible. In the start of your story, there was this part ambayo you mentioned a person, that there was someone working at Bird.
Yes. So I was mentioned about George Zhu. So George Zhu is the CEO, the founder of the company. Transsion. Of course, the company which he was working with is the Bird. Yeah, it's called Njiao Bird. Yeah.
Okay, we'll see how we can spell that.
Yeah.
Like if you notice, there's another company that's going through the same thing, kind of. And nothing, the Nothing phone.
Yeah.
The company that makes the Nothing phone also makes earphones, not earphones, like earpods, wireless ones.
Okay.
Yeah. Their founder worked for OnePlus.
Okay.
Yeah, Carl Pei.
Yeah.
Yeah, he worked for OnePlus.
It makes sense.
Yeah, and then he left
to come to. Okay.
Yeah, and now he has his own company called the Nothing Phone. So I think there's something. So if there's an employee for a company that sees things are not going well, and a split, and
that's the future. Inakuwa nice kwa sababu you know the what is behind. Kuna one tribe, they're very popular in Kariakoo. What they do, wanachukua mtu kutoka kijijini kwao, wanapeleka pale Kariakoo, wakutana bana wanauza biashara ya kufanyia mtumba, right? And then I'll spend let's say 7 years or 6 years, I don't know. So wanachukua very young people, because they're 18 or something like that. Very young people. The whole time ya 7 years unakopa ni literally kama haulipwi. By the 7th year unapotoka pale, it's like unapewa hela yako yote. I'm telling you, given that you know the nitty-gritty, and you know kwamba mtu ataingia saa ngapi even if you've spent the 7 years, my friend. 7 years.
Yeah. It's a very long internship.
Yeah. this tribe, I don't know exactly, but there's this tribe in Kariakoo. So when they do that, it's make you really ready to find kama hicho. So even hata mtu mwingine labda anafanya kazi kwenye office private company, they can actually think about, you know what, what's the reason am I here, right? Nafanya nini hapa? What's the point ya kuwa hapa hivi? So let's say you are senior marketing, right? After 7 years, you know all about marketing. You know, this campaign works, this doesn't work. Right? Unless you're sleepwalking. Your entire 7 years you're sleepwalking. You're just coming and go. But if you're really serious, 7 years is good for you to learn. And this goes to the students' combo. At the start of their career, of course, money is important. Of course, no question about it. Especially when context come Africa, because you need to pay your rent, you need to pay all these things. Sometimes even your parents depend on you. But don't push so much effort aside here to win life in 7 years of your early career. Put all those 7 years, see what can I produce, and then after 7 years, whatever you're working on, you should see, okay, now I can master this. You can add more 3 years, okay, 10 years now, I'm good. So let's assume Tamazameka Shinatano, sure, Shinasita, let's say. That's very generous, Shinasita. So by the time you go 33, is 7th year. 37 is 10th year. Senior. 10th year umelearn enough in that industry. Kuna one msemo kwamba utatakiwa uhame kampuni kwenda nyingine. It's very important kuhama kwa sababu it gives you like different perspective. But at least spend 3 years kwenye kampuni moja. It's allow you to cumulative. Unajua kuna ile power of accumulation, you accumulate. Ila let's na mwakizi huko Tigo ujako Vodacom, you kind of getting start
constantly starting,
always starting. And the worst thing when ukianza new company, you have something to prove. You have something to prove. Okay, actually you hired someone here, right? It's not like I'm nobody, right? So you hire somebody here. So the first 3 years, learn, at least accept I'm going to be here for the next 3 years. For these 3 years is pure accumulation of knowledge and skills, networking, everything here. After that, go and start something else. Because the moment you start, you come away, let's say, now you have to start build 10 pale. So it's kind of building momentum. It's good, it gives you knowledge, but knowledge is compounded. Knowledge is compounded. You cannot know everything in a single day. It's known is a fact. You won't know everything in a single day. The moment you see you know enough, you can move to the next step. But don't fall in the idea that you know something while you haven't practiced it enough. So that George Zoo actually worked with the bird company for several years. I think it's almost 7 years. When he started his company, he knows about manufacturing. Yeah. He knows where they're failing. He knows, and he knows like, okay, if I'm going to need here, I need regulation here. So really thinking about that, and maybe something everyone should look is really looking the bigger picture. What next after this, right?
Yeah.
Apart from that,
I think we'll look more into this. I think this is somewhere now we can start talking more on consumer devices as a device.
Yes.
Hopefully we can have them on the podcast. So that's been it for this week. Follow us on Instagram. You can follow us on TikTok now. We're on TikTok.
We are live.
We're on TikTok. Follow us on YouTube. You can follow us on YouTube. Can you follow us on YouTube?
Yeah, actually you can subscribe to our
channel. Can subscribe on YouTube. Yeah, so subscribe to our YouTube page.
Yes. Make sure you comment, and we will actually be sharing a lot of shorts and stories. So if you know your brother who really needs to know something about this, your sister, hey, share this.
Share it with them.
This is how we build the channel. This is how we get time to build the content. So your support in sharing, spread the knowledge about what we are doing is really appreciated.
Yeah. And for all the tech insights and everything you need to know,
follow Techroad.
We're here for you.
Yeah, for you. Thank you very much.